Seattle's political leadership voted to defund the police last year. What are they doing with all the money? Well, they put some of it into a new initiative to degrade and destroy their own people. The city is now funding a homeless shelter that's passing out heroin pipes and distributing so-called booty bumping kits so that junkies can inject drugs rectally, for real. Seattle's Human Services Department says the program, quote, reflects the varying needs of those experiencing homelessness in Seattle. Jason Rantz is a Seattle radio host. He's been documenting the destruction of his city. He joins us tonight. Jason, thanks so much for coming on. If you really hated the people you were in charge of, it seems to me you'd do things like this.
Yeah, I mean, when you teach addicts who are already the hardest to get off the street a more efficient way to get high in a way that lasts longer, when you're doing it with the so-called booty bumping kits, all you're doing is making it that much easier for them to stay addicted. We have an organization, the Downtown Emergency Services Center, that should be helping these people. And they say this is all part of a harm reduction model, that it's about being where the addict is and making sure that since they're going to engage in this behavior anyway, at least they're doing it safer. But at the end of the day, the results speak for themselves, and homelessness and addiction is getting worse in Seattle and King County. We just had a stunning increase, and that's in the language of the very people doing the study, of an increase in fentanyl overdoses, meth overdoses going through the roof. Every step of the way, we're seeing the results worsening, not getting better. So maybe harm reduction is literally doing the opposite.
Well, maybe it's intentional. I mean, if you did this to your kids, people would say, well, you obviously hate your kids. You're making it easier for them to do heroin. A lot of people die. I mean, that degrades them. It will kill them ultimately. Why isn't it very clear to us they wouldn't do this to a population they loved or cared about?
Well, because we've sort of leaped into this PC culture. They'll say that they don't want to stigmatize anybody who is experiencing this. And you and I have had this conversation before. I don't want to stigmatize people. I don't want to shame people who are sick and they need help. But I do want to stigmatize the act of shooting up or smoking heroin. We should not be glorifying it. We should not be making it sound like it's exciting to give another aspect of drug addiction a try. We should be making sure that everybody understands that this is unacceptable. It's not okay to do this in a park. It's not okay to do this in an alleyway. And it's certainly not okay to do it in a city-backed center for homeless, especially not okay to do it with city funds.
The funny thing is, if they were passing out Marlboros to the homeless, people would freak out. Those are bad for you.
Yeah,
but
no
not
kidding.
heroin. It's a really diseased mind, I would say, responsible for this. Jason, it's great to see you.